Father Dries here answering more high school questions. So October 8th, this will be the first of a number of videos on these. So the first question was, should I be charitable to someone who always asks for charity? Good question. Should I be charitable? Well, yes. If we mean by charity as rightly ordered love, especially love kind of a kind of motivated by love of God, grace-filled kind of God helping us, yes, we're always to love, to be charitable. Now, that doesn't always mean that we give someone always what they want. It may not always be what's good for them. So I think the question here is, should I be charitable to someone who's always asks for charity? Like someone who wants just to hand out all the time. And sometimes that's enabling someone. And there may be times where no, that's actually not loving to continually to just give to someone where they have the means to help themselves work. It doesn't say in the scripture, God helps those who help themselves. All right, I've heard it from a number of people, that don't know the scriptures. They're like, that's not in the scriptures. But Paul does say, he who does not work should not eat. I think it's First or Second Thessalonians, one of those two. He kind of the idea of if you're able to work, to provide for yourself, kind of you should do what you're able to. And so, no, you're not obliged to always give someone what they want, what they ask for when they're in need. Especially if they're in dire circumstances, yes, that's really the most important thing. But then the importance of not wanting, to allow them to actually flourish as a human person to their capacity, which doesn't mean you just give them always what they want. Just as parents, good parents do not always give their children what they want. They give them what they need and also help them to grow in their gifts, their abilities themselves. Next question. What is the best way to discern big life changes? Not just prayer. All right, that's part of the question. I think it's like parentheses, and not just prayer. Okay, prayer is important. Yes, definitely important, and I think this person acknowledged that. But what else is kind of part of that equation? And so part of it's asking advice from others, what others kind of have to say about the matter, seeking counsel from others. So let's just use the example. So you guys are in high school, maybe what you're going to do after high school. Maybe you're like, I don't know what to do after high school. That's where you ask others you kind of look up to, maybe your parents, other, peers and stuff, like, what do you think I should do? Like, and maybe you have an idea, but it can be good just to get a sense for others because they can see your gifts. They can sometimes see your abilities in ways that we don't see them, or we maybe downplay them. As well as kind of researching. So when you kind of, it's looking into things, not just thinking it's going to, God's just going to land a message in front of you, do this. He also wants us to use our mind. That's why he gave us intellects. And so part of that is, what are some things, let's just use the example again of after high school. What am I going to do after high school? And what are some options? Okay, I could go get a job right away, a full-time job. I could go to a technical college, get an associate's degree, 2 years, or maybe a 4-year college. And then what are the, what are the benefits of each of the pros and cons, as well as what do I desire, kind of what are my desires? And kind of filtering that in and asking others for advice. One of my brothers, he was really good at art, all right? And he was looking at going to the Minneapolis art school down in Minneapolis before it became really crazy a couple of years ago, but this was about 10 years ago. He was looking, and he's like really, really, really talented. And he went there, and it was going to be like $40,000 a year. And that kind of put on, yeah, I don't know if this is something I'm that passionate about. So he spent 2 years going to a community college. And then he later went to Madison to get kind of his 4-year degrees. But anyway, so it's kind of his discernment part of was kind of looking at it, and seeing, like, kind of weighing that, like, okay, I don't know if I'm that into this. It's a hobby he has, I think, a beautiful hobby. his abilities there, but he recognized, yeah, I have some talent here, but yeah, I don't think I can make a living necessarily off this, or I don't want to take that risk. Um, so yeah, but prayer, bring it to the Lord also, and being honest with the Lord. What are your desires, and asking Him, Lord, give me, help me with this. Help me kind of have clarity with this code. Even asking the Lord, kind of prayer, the importance of it. The closer we come to the Lord, the more we're able to see His desire for us, and when we kind of are doing more what He wants, actually, it takes the pressure off. You don't have to figure it all out. We have to do our part, but it's not all on us. So that concludes this video. I'll have a couple more coming. God bless.